What starts as a routine call in the Rookie Season 8 Episode 17 quickly spirals into one of the most intense and dangerous situations John Nolan has ever faced, as he responds to what seems like a normal incident only to realize that something is deeply off. And as small details begin to stack up, it becomes clear that this is not just a random case, but part of a much larger and highly organized operation involving suspects who are calculated, prepared, and willing to go to extreme lengths to stay ahead of the law, forcing Nolan to rely on his instincts while navigating a situation that grows more volatile with every passing moment. And as the danger escalates, and innocent lives are suddenly put at risk, he is pushed into a position where hesitation is no longer an option, and every decision carries life or death consequences, while at the same time, the rest of the team works different angles of the case, with Lucy Chen and Tim Bradford stepping into the spotlight as they chase down leads that slowly begin to connect back to Nolan's unfolding crisis, their partnership blending sharp intuition and experience while also carrying an undercurrent of emotional tension that adds depth to their scenes. As the pressure of the case begins to affect them on a personal level, and as their investigation uncovers key information that reveals just how far-reaching and dangerous this operation truly is, the urgency spreads across the entire team. While elsewhere, Angela Lopez and Wesley Evers are dealing with the personal impact of the situation as the case starts to blur the line between duty and family, forcing Lopez to balance her role as an officer with her instincts to protect the people she loves, while Wesley is confronted with the harsh reality of how dangerous her world can be, adding an emotional weight that runs parallel to the high-stakes action. And as everything builds toward a breaking point, Nolan finds himself at the center of a rapidly collapsing situation where time is running out, the suspects are closing in, and the threat to innocent lives becomes immediate and unavoidable, leading to a powerful and intense climax, in which he is forced to make a split-second decision that will determine the outcome of the entire operation, a decision that ultimately stops the immediate danger but comes with heavy consequences that linger in the aftermath, leaving Nolan and the team to process what happened as the emotional and professional fallout begins to settle in. And by the end of the episode it becomes clear that while the immediate crisis may be over, the consequences are far from resolved, setting up even bigger conflicts and deeper challenges ahead while reinforcing why the Rookie continues to deliver gripping, character-driven storytelling that keeps raising the stakes with every episode. As the aftermath of Nolan's decision begins to ripple through the team in the Rookie Season 8 Episode 17, the emotional weight becomes impossible to ignore, with the precinct no longer feeling like just a workplace, but a space filled with tension, reflection, and quiet realization that things could have gone very differently, as Nolan himself starts to wrestle internally with the choice he made, replaying every second in his mind, and questioning whether there was another way, even though deep down he knows that in that moment he acted to save lives. Yet that doesn't make the consequences any easier to carry, and this internal conflict adds a deeper layer to his character as we see the toll that leadership and responsibility continue to take on him, while around him, the team processes the situation in their own ways, with Lucy Chen showing concern not just for the case, but for Nolan as a person, recognizing the emotional burden he's carrying, while Tim Bradford maintains his composed exterior, but subtly acknowledges the gravity of what happened, offering a grounded perspective that reflects both his experience and his understanding of how difficult those split-second decisions can be. And as their conversations unfold, there's a quiet sense of unity forming within the team, as if this shared experience, as intense as it was, has brought them closer together even while leaving emotional scars. And at the same time, Angela Lopez continues to navigate the personal fallout of the case, with the danger having come uncomfortably close to her personal life, forcing her to confront the reality that no matter how skilled or prepared she is, the risks of the job can never be fully contained. And Wesley Evers becomes an emotional anchor in these moments, providing support while also grappling with his own fears, which adds a layer of realism to their relationship as they both try to find balance in a world that constantly threatens to disrupt it. And as the episode moves toward its closing moments, there's a noticeable shift from action to reflection, with quieter scenes that allow the weight of everything that happened to settle in, showing characters in moments of silence, conversation, and contemplation, reinforcing that while the immediate danger has passed, the impact of the situation will linger far beyond this single case. And just when it seems like things might begin to stabilize, subtle hints are dropped that this story isn't completely over, suggesting that there may be larger consequences still waiting to unfold, which adds a layer of anticipation for what's coming next, leaving viewers with a sense of unease mixed with excitement. And as the episode finally comes to a close, it does so not with a sense of resolution but with a lingering tension that keeps the momentum of the season alive, reminding us once again that in The Rookie, Every decision matters, every action has consequences, and the line between right and wrong is often far more complicated than it first appears, setting the stage perfectly for the episodes still to come. As the story continues to unfold in the Rookie Season 8 Episode 17, the lingering tension doesn't just fade away, but instead evolves into something heavier and more personal, as Nolan begins to feel the quiet but undeniable shift in how the job affects him, realizing that moments like this are what truly define the kind of officer and person he is becoming. And even though outwardly he tries to maintain control and professionalism, there's an underlying sense that this particular case has left a mark that won't easily disappear, while the precinct itself feels different, filled with subtle glances, unfinished conversations, and the kind of silence that speaks louder than words, as each member of the team processes the aftermath in their own way, with Chen reflecting on how quickly situations can escalate, and how important trust and instinct are in the field, while Bradford, though steady as ever, shows a deeper level of awareness about the emotional toll these moments take, quietly reinforcing the idea that survival in this job isn't just about skill but about resilience. And as their partnership continues to evolve, there's a sense that experiences like this are shaping not just their professional dynamic, but their personal connection as well, adding layers to their relationship that go beyond what's said out loud. While Lopez faces the difficult task of compartmentalizing the fear that came too close to home, trying to regain control and focus even as the emotional impact lingers beneath the surface, and Wesley remains a steady presence beside her, offering support while also confronting the reality that being connected to someone in law enforcement means living with constant uncertainty, which adds a grounded, human element to the episode's larger theme. And as the narrative pushes forward, small but significant details begin to hint that the case may have deeper roots than initially believed, suggesting that what the team faced might only be part of a larger network or ongoing threat, creating a sense of unease that subtly builds in the background. And this lingering uncertainty keeps the tension alive even in quieter moments, making it clear that the story is far from over, while Nolan, in particular, begins to shift his focus toward what comes next, using what he's learned to prepare for the possibility that the danger could return in a different form. And this forward-looking perspective reinforces the idea that growth often comes through the hardest decisions, even when those decisions come with consequences. And as the episode stretches toward its final emotional beats, it leans into the idea that closure isn't always immediate, that sometimes the real impact of a situation unfolds over time, and that what the team has experienced here will continue to influence their choices, their relationships, and their paths moving forward, leaving viewers with a powerful sense that this episode isn't just a standalone moment, but a turning point in the season, one that quietly reshapes the trajectory of the characters, and sets up a future filled with even higher stakes, deeper emotional conflicts, and the kind of unpredictable twists that have come to define the Rookie, ensuring that what comes next will be just as gripping, if not even more intense.